Welcome back to another episode of Your Relationship Sucks! Exclamation point. College confessions today. Very excited about it. Love college confessions. One of my favorite things in life, probably my number one, way better than pretty much anything else that I do. Before we get into it, please, tell other people about us, rate, review, subscribe, follow, all that stuff, YouTube, podcast, social media, all those things. Please check us out. Spread the word. It does help us out. All of that stuff. You can check out the Karma Cancer Apparel. Very, very exciting stuff. It actually does look pretty good. And if you get some, send us a picture. We will put you up for sure. But just like always, I haven't seen what's about to happen. I have no idea what's coming. All off the top of my head, I'm about to risk my reputation right now. This is live television with no edits because I don't feel like editing any of this video. So let's get into it. Initial impressions, hit me with it. What do you got?
I, a 19-year-old male, am terrified of women my own age.
Okay. My initial impression is I don't understand what he's saying, because by implication, this means that he's not afraid of women who are older than him, which seems counterintuitive to me. I don't know why he would be afraid of women who are his age, but not women who are older than him. I was always very much more afraid of women. I still am afraid of women who are older than me, but not ones who are my age. And I'm certainly not terrified. He said terrified, or is he afraid? What did he say? No, he's terrified. Now, look, here's the thing. Most people don't have tremendous vocabulary. Saying terrified may seem like just saying I'm nervous about, them. To him, to this guy, he may not understand the difference of the implication of what he's saying. But if he does, terrified is another level of scared. Like, that's not just like, hey, I'm normal scared. That's like, I'm straight up like Fred. Like, these are Freddy Krueger women walking around with the nails and the mask and the burn skin and all that shit. That's a little confusing to me. I don't know what's happening. I don't understand. I need more detail because I don't get anything that's happened so far.
I'll get into it then. And then you can let me know if he thinks he's using terrified correctly.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's stupid, but I'm absolutely terrified of talking to women my own age. I've never had a relationship, and I've never really had female friends, unlike all my other friends who seem to have no problem talking to and flirting with women. I feel like I missed the day where everyone learned to talk to women and have relationships. Whenever I go out and see groups of girls my age, I just get nervous and try to keep as low of a profile as possible since they just intimidate me. I see them walking around my apartment complex and I want to talk to them, but they're always in groups or with other better looking older guys, and I feel intimidated. It gets worse and worse listening to my roommate and his friends talk about all the girls he messages, or listening to my other female roommates constantly having guys over. I'm naturally very shy, and a few times where I have managed to work up the courage to ask someone else, I've been rejected straight away or been manipulated and bullied, and had all my secrets and embarrassing actions shared publicly. I can talk to older women fine since I tend to get on better with people older than me. I don't know what to do about it anymore.
What? Okay. I'm not sure that I really understand. I mean, I get it. This is something that happens to, I honestly believe, probably 80% of people is my guess. I was not a young woman. I'm guessing it happens to young women as well, to be nervous to talk to young guys and stuff like that. And I get it. I don't know what weird stuff you said to somebody where then it was revealed and it was like your dark secrets or something was revealed. I don't know what you must have said. Don't send stuff on message if you're that scared. I mean, seriously, like if you're that nervous about like something, because I don't know what you would have said to somebody. He's like, oh, I had it revealed or whatever. Unless you were like super creepy. I don't know why this person was sending it. I get if you got burned, you know, like you had like you tried to do a pickup line or something, and you know, I mean, like it's different if you were like, hey, you know, I want to eat your skin, versus like, hey, can we go out for a coffee? And she showed those messages to her friends or something. Like those are two different things, you know, like those are very fundamentally different things.
I'm also thinking, given that he's only 19 years old, if some of these things where someone aired his like secrets happened in like middle school or much younger, when that, I'm not saying it's okay. Like, obviously that sucks. I've had it happen by like my other female friends that I'm still friends with to this day, because it happened when we were like 13 or 14 years old, because that's something that kind of happens at that age where you hear something and then you're like, to be cool, you want to tell people, even if like it's not going to make you cool, you kind of think that knowing something or sharing something is going to make you feel better. So like I'm almost thinking, I don't know, like obviously I don't know, he threw that one just in there like it was just an afterthought of why he's terrified. It sounds like that is the reason why he's terrified, and that it didn't start out like that necessarily, or maybe it did and he's not like mentally connecting the dots that like you feel this way because of a very specific experience, and it's not necessarily like how you're interacting with people, it's that you're fearful of.
Yeah, no, I agree. I don't. Here's the thing. How many people does this guy live with? I don't know. Understand that one. He's my other female roommates. There's multiple S's on there.
Has at least one male roommate, and then
it sounded like he lives with like multiple women as well.
Two women, yeah.
That's a weird setup. I don't understand that one at all. That's a real bohemian lifestyle they got going on.
Yeah, how does he have female roommates but he doesn't have female friends? That was also the part I was. Are they not his friends?
Well, I don't know. I mean, you don't have to be friends with people you're roommates. So I've lived with people I didn't really like or whatever. I wouldn't consider them friends or acquaintances or roommates. It's fine. I don't know how they got together. I don't know how they're living together. I don't like that part. I don't get. I don't understand how they all came together. But you know, whatever. If it's like a random thing or something, like I get that. That's fine. And also, if you're a weirdo and they don't want to be friends with you, like what are you gonna do? Here's the thing though. He's got kind of two things going on. Number one, if you are somebody, and again, this is a problem that a lot of people have, but if you are somebody who is terrified to talk to other people, then you have to start out with literally talking to other people, not hitting on other people, which is really what he's saying. Ultimately, that's his ultimate goal is to be able to hit on these women, which, you know, good for you. I mean, like, yeah, that's how you find a girlfriend, you know. But this guy is putting, you know, he's proverbially putting them on a pedestal, all of those things. He said he's never had a relationship. That's an issue for me. It's a real red flag. You've never had a relationship, not because you've never had a relationship. I'm saying it's a red flag because you're saying, well, now I'm terrified. I'm going, well, you're just inside your own head, right? So what that tells me is that this is somebody who literally does not have the ability to speak the English language out loud around people his age who are genetically female, right? That's what's happening. That's fine. That's okay, man. That's okay. That happens all the time. To everybody. You're not alone. This is not like you didn't miss class or whatever. Yeah, there's a couple people or whatever who, you know, are better than you, all that stuff. First of all, he's like, well, I hear all my friends talking about all these girls they're messaging. Are they doing anything with these women or are they just messaging them? That's a totally different thing. Like, cool, dude, you want to talk to people? Like, that's fine, but it's not that awesome to just be like messaging people all the time. You know what I mean? Like, let's be real. A lot of these people want to have sex, right? If you're just messaging people, you're not having sex with them. So, like, what are they really doing that you're not doing? Other than, I guess, theoretically getting closer to having sex, but they're not actually doing it, right? So that part is what it is. And maybe he meant like they're actually hooking up or whatever, but my guess is they're probably lying about that too. Dudes lie all the time about stuff like that. So my guess is they're probably not banging as many women as you might think. But
well, on that note too, I was going to say just, and it sounds like he's listening to like them maybe talk a little bit derogatory about women, and he's envious of like just
could
like
be.
Or do you think, you know what I mean, like giving out like like you said, like maybe details are made up or not, but like
I think, I mean, again, like when you say derogatory, like, look, here's the deal. I don't care what anybody has to say. And I'm not a female. I don't know. I honestly don't know how women talk to other women. And I just mean on average. I'm not saying every woman, blah, 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 all that stuff. I'm not saying every guy does this. Yeah, dudes say dumb stuff to their friends about women. It doesn't mean they don't respect women. Some of them don't. Some of them don't. Absolutely. Some of them just say it and you're like, all right, well, that's creepy. But most of the time they'll say stuff or whatever, but they're saying it because they want to sound cool with their friends, right? Like, oh yeah. Well, I'm going to bang this chick or I'm going to do something like that, whatever. That's not belittling the woman, whatever. And all of those things. That's them talking with their male friends. And I get it. Like, get the language out all the time. I understand what you're saying. Like, not you, just like the other people who would complain about that. I get that. But at some point, you know what? Like, it's okay to speak with people about other people, as long as we're not actually disrespecting somebody to their face and or even to our friends, because that's the thing, they're not disrespecting these women to their friends. Not all of them. Some of them do. And again, there's people who do that, but not everybody's going to do it. So you can't just say, well, they're talking and it's kind of derogatory and stuff like that. And I'm not saying that's what you're doing. I'm saying, like, we can't just assume that they're always being derogatory towards these women. It literally might just be like, yeah, man, she's feeling me. Is she though?
Yeah. I guess derogatory wasn't the word. I meant like explicit, or, and not even necessarily in a bad way, because it's a bunch of 19-year-old dudes. So sometimes they're just going to like, and I'm sure they are hooking up with women and talking to women, but some of it's, I don't think that the poster's realizing that some of it's also just them making shit up, like they're just talking about women because their minds are thinking about it. From what I've learned, it's just all the time. From what I've learned from you, all the time. Like men are just thinking about naked women all the time, and especially at 19 years old.
Yeah, it's constant. Like there's literally nothing you can do. Like that's a genetic thing. I don't care who you are. That's called hormones. like that.
And it has nothing to do with having physical conversations with women. No,
you're constantly thinking. You're constantly doing stuff like whatever. And by the way, even the people who are respectful are probably thinking things that, like, if they said them out loud, people would be like, well, that's not very respectful. And you're like, okay, but it doesn't mean I acted on it. It just means I had a thought. Okay. Like, let's get rid of the fucking thought police. We don't have to have somebody control your thoughts. It's okay to think stuff. Just don't act on it. Like, that's totally fine. Like as long as, you don't have to voice it. You don't have to, but it's okay to have thoughts that other people might not be okay with. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Honestly, there's nothing wrong with that. Once you turn those to actions that harm someone else, that's when it's wrong. Number one, not all those actions are going to harm somebody else. And number two, not all those thoughts are going to turn into actions. So it's fine to think, just don't have the second step. That's where you have a misstep. But here's the problem. Your friends are either lying about whatever they're doing or how much they're doing, or they're not bragging about what you actually want, which is actually to have sex with women. They're bragging about, I'm talking to all these women like me, and we're doing this or that or whatever. If they're not having sex with them, then why do you care? I mean, why do you care anyways? But I get it. They're your friends. You get envious, like you're around. I get that part. I'm saying, why does it matter? If they're not having sex with them, then they're not doing anything you're not wanting to do. So who cares? What you need to do is understand how to speak to another person. That's the problem that you have. And it seems like you can talk to the guys, and that's fine, but you need to speak with the women. So, honest to God, if I were this guy, I would go to one of these female roommates that he has, and I would say to them, listen, I'm not trying to hit on you. I'm not even trying to hit on your friends. That's not what's happening. I don't know if you think I'm a good guy or not. I don't know. But what I need to be able to do is just be more comfortable speaking to women, because I'm not good at it. It's not something I enjoy right now because I get so nervous and I don't know what to say and all those things. Do you think it's possible? Do you think any of your friends would be willing to once a week basically try to help me become more normal? That's it. Because what that's going to do, I'm telling you right now, and I guarantee this is going to work. Number one, it's going to alleviate some of the pressure of speaking with, because you say you don't even have female friends. So it's going to alleviate some of that, where you're just sort of speaking. And you have to be explicit with this girl and say, like, look, I mean, I get it. And, please don't tell other people and all that, because that makes me nervous. But if you have any friends who you think might be able to kind of keep it kind of low key and is willing to help and can kind of get over my initial nervousness and can kind of push me and kind of sort of prod me and stuff like that, it would be immensely helpful to me, just because I'm more comfortable. And here's what I think is going to happen. Well, I mean, there is a chance, yeah, she's going to go tell everybody that you're a weirdo and all that stuff. Okay, fine. She's not your friend anyway, so who cares? My guess is if you go to them, she'll feel bad for you, just like most people would. She'll feel bad for you, and she'll go to one of her friends, probably, maybe even her. I don't know, but maybe one of her friends. And I would say one of her friends, it might be, yeah, you could start with her and see if she wants to do it, and then say, hey, do you think maybe one of your friends might, be willing to just have conversations with me, like just so I just want to be comfortable, like speaking to them. Here's honestly what I think is going to happen, because you're probably an okay guy. You probably just are a fine person, not the Captain America, but you're probably fine. I'm going to guess that's going to work to get you laid. There are going to be a number of women, and you could do this for a long time, dude. I'm telling you right now, you could do this for a substantial amount of time. There are going to be women who feel bad for you. It's a real soft opening, and they're going to want to have sex with you because for some reason, they want to have sex with a babe in the woods. That's a guarantee that's going to happen. That's what I would do. If it were me, that's exactly what I would do. I would 100% have zero qualms about doing exactly that, because you just need help talking with somebody, but approaching it like that is actually going to open it up to the other girls. Now, don't think you're going to sleep with every one of them, because that's not going to happen. So don't go into it thinking like this will get me laid. Just go in and be real honest and like say, hey, like I want help. I want to practice. I want to talk. I want to do those things. But my guess is she's going to introduce you to one of her friends, maybe multiple. My guess is one of those friends is going to think you're cute, is going to think it's really sweet that you literally are so nervous that you can't talk to anybody, that you've never had a girlfriend, and my guess is you've never had sex. That's my guess based on purely this, and that's not written anywhere, but that's just my understanding. And I'm going to guess she's going to want to have sex with you because she's going to think it's really cute and really sweet, and she wants to bang you. I'm almost positive that's going to work. I'm very confident that is something that is absolutely going to happen. And by the way, it's going to help you, because it is shocking to me that you don't know how to speak to another person. I get it. I am very nervous talking with other people. I'm not good at being in rooms with strangers. I don't care how old they are. I'm not good at being in a room with a stranger. I hate it. I can't stand it. I don't like to do it at all. But I had no problem talking with women who are my age. Here's the other thing. You have no problem talking to older women? Dude, go hit on them. What are you doing? There are so many guys who are super nervous to talk to women who are older than them. They get nervous. They sound immature, like all this stuff. Man, if you got older women who want to talk to you, and when he says older, I don't know what that means, but I'm sure it's not 50.
But I mean, if he's 19 and the older women are
like 28,
that's going to be a way better sexual experience too.
Go nuts, man. Go hit on those girls. That's what I'm talking about. Like, go, like, let's work up the ranks. And while you're having this conversation with these other girls, because I still think that's important, even if you're banging older chicks, I still think that you should have that conversation with your roommate, you know, one of them. Go, I mean, seriously, go hit on those older women because they like that. You know, they're going to think it's cool. And, you know, not all of them or whatever, but not all the girls who are your age are going to like you. But I'm saying there's going to be a number of women who are older. They're going to be cool with dating a younger guy. They're going to want to, you know, sleep with you and hang out with you and talk to you and all that stuff, all the stuff you want. Dude, why do you care about being with somebody who's 19? And again, here's the thing. 19-year-old girls are crazy, but you know why? Because they have all the hormones. Like there's a real, again, it's like 19-year-old guys can't stop thinking about breasts. 19-year-old girls are crazy because they have so many hormones. And that's a real scientific, I mean, that's a scientific fact that they have, you know, these problems. And that's the thing, like a lot of women, I know for a fact that a lot of women deal with like depression and bipolar disorder and shit like that when they're in their early 20s, mostly as a function of their hormones. And, you know, again, some of them like that continues on, but a lot of women experience some symptoms of that.
That's why
the hormones are so, they're so strong. And you can't do anything about it. It's just in you. And so I'm looking at it and I'm like, dude, why do you want to talk to somebody who's just kind of going to be Looney Tunes through no fault of her own, but she's just going to be Looney Tunes. Like, dude, you're not prepared for that. I'm telling you right now, you're not prepared for that. And by the way, you're probably not prepared for a 25-year-old either, because they're still crazy. But if you're like, hey, what's up? Like, where's a 28-year-old? I'm like, look, you can find some 28-year-olds that have their lives together, you know? I mean, yeah, you can find 25-year-olds too, but I'm saying, like, you get some 28-year-olds, they're pretty mature, you know, all that stuff. I mean, you got for dudes, you got to wait till we're like, you know, 35, 40, 45, something like that. I mean, that's a lot longer. But for women, I mean, and again, I'm not bashing on them. I'm saying very fundamentally, just purely based on genetics, they struggle with depression and bipolar disorder and stuff like that in their early to mid 20s because that's what happens inside of them. And they can't prevent themselves from being that way. Why? Who cares, dude? Who cares? Don't start there. You're not prepared for that level of crazy. I'll tell you that right now. You're just not. You're not prepared for it. You are out of your league from that standpoint because you're not mentally ready to deal with somebody who is like that. But if you can talk to a 28-year-old, 25-year-old who's got her life together, dude, go date one of those women. I don't understand. Like, I don't get why this is a problem. That's my thing. This guy's looking at this problem all backwards. He's like, dude, I got to be with a 19-year-old or whatever. I'm like, you don't have to marry any of these women. You know, like, you just need to be able to talk to them. Well, let's get that out of the way first. Let's get to the part. Let's go to the part where we can, you know, have 3 or 4 sentences in a row without vomiting before we start thinking about walking down the aisle. You know what I mean? Like, don't worry about the 19-year-olds. They're still going to be there when you turn 20 and 21 and 22. Like, they're still going to be there, but you got a long ways to go. If you're literally so nervous that you can't speak to them and you hide from them in group settings, you got a long ways to go. You got to do something.
I think the other thing, I mean, you had him go up and very explicitly say to his female roommate that I wouldn't, you know, I'm having a hard time talking to females. I think this would work. Like, if that's not something he's prepared to do, because that's being like extra vulnerable, and he is worried about people making fun of him. So I could see where that would be a little, you could even go up to a female and be like, hey, I'm really trying to meet new people. You know, do you mind if I like hang out with your new friend group? You know, I don't have a lot of, you know, female friends.
See, here's the
but problem. That alone, that works too.
Here's the problem. Look, this is why I'm so advanced. It's shocking to me how next level thinking I am on all of these issues. You know what I mean? Like, on every single issue that we discuss, I am so far ahead of everybody. It is amazing to me that my personal life is in fucking shambles because everybody else's personal life nailed it. You know, like, it is amazing to me how much better I am at other people's personal lives than I am in my own interpersonal relationships. It's jaw-dropping how good I am with other people's problems. Here's the problem with what you said, because I agree with you. And guess what? That's step 2. He literally, I'm assuming, visibly shakes when he tries to go talk to someone who is a stranger to him, who's a female, who's a stranger. What you just said is probably going to cause him to pass out. He's going to pass out if he tries to do that. That's why I said, go to somebody you know, get in with their friends. And then, and you're right, let me be explicit about it, when that works with that first girl who wants to have sex with you because you're such a sweetheart and you're so innocent, yeah, then go talk to some weird strangers and say the exact same thing. Go up to them and say, look, I'm really, really bad at speaking with women. I'm not trying to hit on you. I just want to have a conversation with you, and it's going to be super awkward, and you're probably going to hate it. But I kind of need you, if you're willing, I need you to give me like 5 or 10 minutes, and I need you to pretend like it's not weird and just sort of brush past when I'm awkward. And if you could do that, it would genuinely help me out. And if you're not down with that, I appreciate you even listening to this. I will see you later. I'll stop bothering you now. And I'm pretty sure you're going to have sex pretty quickly after that with a pretty high percentage of women. Seriously, like, and that's a thing, because, and now when I say this, if anybody's listening to it and to think like, oh, I'm going to try that, it's real easy to sound sleazy with that. So you got to be careful, because if you think like, oh, well, that's going to be a great line, I'm telling you, they're going to be able to pick up on it, because this guy's going to have something in his voice where he's like, oh man, I'm super nervous or whatever. And the women are going to be able to pick up on that and be like, okay, this guy seems like he's being genuine or whatever. And honestly, again, don't do this to sleep with women. I'm not saying that. I'm saying like you really do need to learn how to speak to people. So do it in all earnest, do it with earnest intentions and honest, do it with an honest heart. But I'm telling you, there's going to be a shocking amount of women who think that's the greatest pickup line ever, because women are weird, man. Women are weird. I don't get it. Like, yeah, dudes are gross. Women are weird. I don't know. They like weird stuff. They like dudes who are like super innocent and they could take advantage of them or whatever. And that's how they're going to feel. They're going to feel like they're taking advantage of you. And you know what? Just let it happen. Go nuts. Use it as a pickup line, because it's going to be a 10 out of 10. I'm telling you, it's going to work. It's going to be fantastic. I don't know. You have any other thoughts?
No, I think that your advice works for a lot of different things that guys struggle with. So not just talking to women, but like if you're at that point where you think, I'm such a nice guy, what's my problem? Use this advice, because the moment you start thinking you're a nice guy and women suck, you're really never going to get laid.
Yeah, I agree.
And then the issue there is you're asking women, and I think people in general, I don't think this is just women, people like when people are genuinely vulnerable and give off part of themselves. That doesn't mean you're being nice doesn't mean you're vulnerable. And that's the big difference that people miss. And that's what leads to nice guys. Because nice guys are never getting laid. And this dude did not call himself a nice guy. I was kind of expecting it at some point. It sounds like he genuinely doesn't know how to do it and is willing to change. And part of that is letting go of some fears and letting other people in.
Yeah, 100%. And that's why you should start with somebody, that you're close to, that who could just help you, because it doesn't sound like you're having conversations with your roommate. Start with her. Get her to branch out to some of her friends, maybe ask for a hot one, whatever, do your thing. It's going to work. I'm telling you, you're going to get laid. This guy's going to get so laid.
Keep in mind that it sounds like someone really was like very rude to him. Like he gave his heart to someone and then they told everyone. Keep in mind, like people are going to probably make fun of you a little bit if you come to them in a joking way.
Great.
Women are going to mock you. Awesome. And they're going to be flirting with you. So like, you got to get past that part too. Like someone like making fun of you doesn't mean they're making fun of you. They still might want to sleep with you.
Here's the thing, man. Here's the thing. You can't take back fucking somebody. So if one of these women is going to bang you and then she wants to go tell her friends about how weird you are, she still slept with you. You know what I mean? Like, think about that, like think about those types of things. Like they can't take that back. You can't take that back. It's not the end of the world. It's okay. If they're going to say something, fine. Don't talk to them anymore. Guess what? You didn't talk to them before. So obviously they're not that important for you to be alive. So just don't talk to them. Go talk to somebody else. There's like 1 billion people in the world. There's plenty of people for you to go talk to. Go talk to one of them. Go find out what they're about. Because I'm telling you, it's gonna work. It's gonna work. These women will help you out because people are nice. You know, like if you're genuine with them, they'll be nice. And you're right. Being vulnerable doesn't necessarily mean you're nice. And being vulnerable doesn't necessarily mean you're okay. Being vulnerable is just telling people, hey, I got a problem. Here's something that's going on with me. It's hard for me to talk about. Can you help me out, please? You know, ask nicely. I mean, seriously, just ask nicely. I guarantee they're gonna do it. They're gonna help you. Women are scary. If you're a young guy, I get it. I think every guy is scared of women. Honestly, I don't think there's a single guy who is just uber confident and is never scared around a woman. My guess is women are the same way. Guys are very scary, hard to, you know, what are they about? And, you know, I like them so much, and do they like me, and all that stuff. People are, you know, if you're honest with them, people are nice. And I'm pretty sure your roommate's going to help you out. And I'm just telling you, if you do what I'm advocating, I think it's going to lead even farther than you think it's going to lead. And that's your problem. You're like, well, if I could just say hi, then we could bang. And I'm like, no, dude, I'm going to skip like 4 or 5 steps for you, because it's going to disarm them, and not in like a sleazy way. It's going to disarm them. And like, they're like, oh, you know what? Like, this is somebody who's actually struggling. Like, let's try and figure it out. Let's try and help this guy. So I think you bring up some good points. That's awesome. That's it. I think we did it today. Very, very good conversation. I like what was happening. I hope this guy figures it out. I hope he takes our advice. I hope he gets laid a bunch of times from the same gambit, because it's going to work. I'm telling you right now. So thank you for listening. We appreciate it. You know, please support the podcast, and, you know, rate and review and subscribe and like and all that stuff. And, you know, get us on social media as well. You know, follow us and just share us with other people. You know, it helps us out. Honestly, it really does. We do appreciate it. We're going to keep doing it, but, you know, we like, you know, we like when you guys are out there telling people, and, you know, we know some of you are, and all that. And you know, so thank you very much from us. We will be back next time with more weird problems from weird people who are doing weird things with the opposite sex or the same sex. I don't know what you're into. You be into whatever you want. Either way, you're probably screwing up. That's why you come back here, so we can help you to stop screwing up with the other person that ultimately you just want to get into bed. That's what this show's about. We're just trying to help people get laid. Some of us are helping more than others. But we will see everybody then.